that's being all the way. You know, to the point where our enemies, all right, are
That's Isaiah 56.
putting things together to take our heritage away. All right, that's a lost people. Everybody else in this land, in this world, all got some type of culture that they follow. They all got some type of religious content except for Israelites. Why is that? Right? Other people and around us, right? But right?
That's it. Let's get up in here.
And that man of sin be revealed.
So who's the man of sin? The man of sin is Esau Edom. And he goes all the way back to the father of sin, being Cain. Okay, when he murdered his brother Abel, and then the Lord said, sin lieth at the door. All right. So he was a murderer from the beginning, and the spirit that was in Cain came back in Esau. All right. And then and all his descendants and so on and so forth. But the man of sin is Esau Edom. That's why they're known collectively as the sons of the wicked, because they are the wicked ones. Go on and be revealed. And now they're being revealed. Because for a period of time, the Edomites were known. When you go back to the time of the Apostle Paul, people knew, all right, especially Israelites, we knew who Edomites were. And Edomites themselves knew who Edomites were. But after a period of time, what happened? They ended up, through history, and then them coming back. Remember that after the fall of after the reign of the 12 Caesars, you had a few other Caesars that reigned, which majority of them were Jake. And then you had the fall of the Western Roman Empire, where you had, during the time of Constantine, you had the full rising of the Byzantine Empire, okay, and then the collapse of Esau. Revelation 20th chapter tells you that. So Esau went down, and then when he came back up, he didn't come back, pop up and say, "Hey, I'm an Edomite," you know what I'm saying? Put me in shackles again. No, he came back up and said, "Look, we're this people, we're that people, all them people right there. Knock all that down. That's us." And they went around to deceive, and they tried to cover that identity that they had of being Edomites. And for all these years, then they started coming out with different books. They started covering up different parts. They started taking out certain parts from the scriptures. They started destroying certain documents. They started hiding certain things and pushing certain other narratives out there. That's why they call the Renaissance the rebirth. Matter of fact, let's look up Renaissance. Let's see what we can find on that. They call it the rebirth because when they came back into power, that's when they started. Oh, matter of fact, hold this and let's get the book of Revelation, the 20th chapter, the 7th verse. Because that's what they did. So when they came up, they hid the fact that they were Edomites. They didn't come out with that. Oh, we're this. Oh, we're that. We're Germans, the Europeans. We did it, but don't take out that biblical stuff. You know. Let's get it.
This is Revelation 20:7. And when 1,000 years are expired,
so at the end of the Byzantine Empire, or the Dark Ages, or the Middle Ages as they called it, when you had Esau come back up, the Lord loosed that seal off of him, and then he started coming back up, right? Go on.
Satan shall be loosed out of his prison.
So now the prison wasn't an actual a prison with fiery bars, you know what I'm saying, that he's getting whipped constantly. No, but the prison was the condition that they were in. And it was a prison because they couldn't come out of that condition collectively, lest the Lord actually raise them up out of that position. Same with us now. We can't get out of this position unless the Lord raises us up out of it. And even back then, 2,000 years ago, that's why the disciples were so eager to ask Yahushua, are you now going to restore, the kingdom back to Israel? Because we can't do it by ourselves. What?
And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea.
Right. So now dealing with the first part of that, it says that they were going to go out to deceive the nations. And that's what they did. Job 9:24 talks about it. So the whole point is they covered up the fact that they were the man of sin. And then in our time, the Lord put the spirit upon us to now come out and see and reveal who this devil is. Isaiah the 47th chapter. To show the nakedness, lift up the skirt, uncover the locks, make bare the leg. So this devil is being exposed left and right. Not just that they're Edomites and that they're the wicked, and that the judgment is coming for them, but also the things that they've actually done as Edomites in this time and in the past. So now the devil is being revealed, and that's why he's so mad. He's wroth. All right, let's go on back to 2 Thessalonians.
Wanted that Renaissance?
Yep, don't get that. Okay.
2 Thessalonians 2 and 4. Start at verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first.
So who fell away? Israel. What do we fall away from? Our heritage. Go on.
And that man of sin be revealed,
Which is happening now,
the son of perdition,
which
who-
means destruction. And that's what he does. Everywhere he goes, he leaves a trail of destruction. This place, America, was actually a beautiful land at one point. Esau came up in here, and now look, everything is done. This place is like when Scar in the Lion King came up into power, and everything just, you got it.
That's why they got this whole concept of bringing about this AI. The AI that they created is that more of a that's why they got this AI. So a lot of people are starting to see artificial intelligence be incorporated in their daily lives, whether it be the works that you react, right? Whether it be the basic interaction that you might have maybe a supermarket or whatever.
Yep.
All right. Understand that the actual plan behind them bringing about this technology is to ultimately cause destruction. Destruction on a automated level that trumps the power of man as it is now. That's why he's supposed to kick it into the next gear of violence, man. Revelation 12 tells you that. So again, going back to the son of perdition, their whole mindset is about destruction. Look at what's going on in this country right now. All these so-called trade developments is to cause destruction. Like, who in their right mind will allow for anything those kind of chemicals to be open in the open for people to suffer like that? That is a sick creature, man. That is a people that need to be put to sleep. All right, that's what these devils are doing. So again, like you said, their very doings is evident of who they are. The only thing is the world is for so long, the earth is for so long has been blinded, right? Deceptions, with the cunning devices that they use, whether it's politics, whether it's religion, whether it's the school system, whatever it is, they're able to deceive the people so much that people can't see what's actually happening. So now the problem is the prophets are here to show you, use example, you are the Israelites, all right? What is this all about? And that's the problem. That's the whole controversy. All right? We might not even love. That's the whole thing. All right, that's why they're going to make war against us, right? Because we're in their way. All right, but we're not going to leave the way. We're going to be right here until they bring their ass.
That's
right,
it.
so you got it.
That's it. Let's keep going on that.
Verse 4. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God.
Right,
Yep.
and that's why you have throughout history, right? Specifically talking about the concept of religion. All right, religion is something that puts that word religion, all right, means to bind. All right, you're bound by something. That means you're either bound by a law, right, or a contract. Right. Look at it's bound by certain specific kind of laws in the contract, which is the covenant. All right, that we made with Yahweh Shai as his people. All right. Now Esau's mindset, his demonic mindset is, okay, well, we're gonna create our own religion. All right, and then within this religion, we're gonna bind the people underneath our power. That is why going back, like you said, going back to the after the 1,000 years, all right, they brought what Satan out of his prison, so he could go about deceiving the nations. That's what you see, all right. They start with the so-called Catholic Church, all right, with all these religions, all right, painting themselves to be the Most High, all right. The angels are white, they are white, okay. The Son of the Heavenly Father is white. The Heavenly Father is white. Everything that's righteous, it looks like them. And everything that's wicked, it looks like us. Why is that? All right? So they paint themselves as gods, and they paint themselves as the judges on this earth, man. All right? They got so-called founding fathers. It seems like damn near anything that has to do with history has to do with these devils in the front of it, man. They're in the middle of it, they're in the front of it, they're behind it, all right? Because they want to make themselves the God of this earth. And now they want to push for the ultimate prize, which is to rule the whole entire earth. Okay, something known as Anuet Coeptus. All right, something known as what Novus Ordo Seclorum. All right, it gets deep like that, man. They have it on the dollar bill. All right, all the agendas is put out in the forefront, man. All right, going all the way back to May 1st, 1776. All right, with the guy called Adam Weishaupt, that's when they start to push that satanic agenda into motion, man. All right, so all these things are being fulfilled and being exposed right now because we're in the last days. All right, they're not going to get that sort of new order, man. All right, as long as the Heavenly Father is still alive and his people are the Israelites, Esau, you don't get to rule after this, man. It's over. All right, it's over. You got it. Go ahead, brother.
God. You going? I just saw an article. Brother did a video on it. It says 20 banks that are sitting on huge potential securities losses, as was SVB, the Silicon Valley Bank. So in essence, 20 banks that are in that same position that Silicon Valley was in before they you know what I'm saying, they took that dip. So yeah, you know what I'm saying, that's it.
Right, and that's opening up the door for that digital currency to come in. Right? Because now that Silicon Valley shit is where they do all this tech stuff, man. Tech value. You know what I'm saying? So if they're going down, all right, that should open the door to you to understand that, oh shit, that's a trend that all these other banks are gonna also follow too. All right, because everything is being digital now. You know, so they got everything planned. They about to kick the shit rolling, man. We're in the month of March, right? We're gonna see by May, we should definitely see some shit popping off.
That's it. That's it. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Right now it says the headline says the SVB, Silicon Valley Bank financial group faced a perfect storm, but there are plenty of other banks that would face big losses if they were forced to dump securities to raise cash, and they just might be, because from what I understand, I'm not an expert on this, but I know like the bonds and securities and whatever it is that they buy that they have worth. And so what happened is that when the interest rates were low, the bonds were worth more. But now the interest rates went up, the bonds worth went down. And so with Silicon Valley Bank, in order to raise up enough money for all these people who are trying to get their money out the bank, in order to raise up that capital for them, they're gonna need to do a whole lot of selling of these bonds, but it's going to be prematurely because the bonds are worth very little. So they're going to sell a whole lot of their assets just to come up with whatever it is they need for these people. And that, I mean, they're pretty much done at that point because they're going to be losing money. If I buy some shit at $10, but I got to sell it at $2, that means I got to sell a whole lot of it in order to get a certain amount, and I'm done.
Selling at a loss.
Exactly. Yep.
Another thing I want to mention too, going into the whole bank collapse, that the FDIC insures you for about $250K, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of startups, a lot of different companies that relied on this bank, that work with this bank. So now come Monday, they said they're going to have their money by Monday. Now, if that doesn't happen, or if there's some type of funny business, it's going to be scorched earth on the stock market on come Monday. So, you know, we're going to keep our eye on it, but overall, it's a trend that's going to continue to go on because we know they're going to collapse the system anyways.
Yep, exactly. And they pretty much set it up. They set everything up, and now they're at that point. You know, they put you in the chokehold, and now they're squeezing, and now you're starting to pass out. Now you're starting to lose that oxygen because they set the situation up nicely. Now you're in a place where they justify raising the rates more and more and more. And nobody can say shit because they're like, well, it's either that or face hyperinflation. So let's go ahead and up the rates even more. Now, one thing, first off, inflation is much higher than they even bring out in their reports. I think the CPI report or something like that. But the point is that what these devils do, there are certain things they don't include inside of the stats when they generate these reports. Things like your gas and your electricity and all these things. No, they don't include that shit. And on top of that, what they'll say is, okay, let's say you had I don't know, the cheapest model of like Toyota back in 2008 versus the cheapest model of Toyota in this year, 2023, and then you'll see, okay, did the price of a new car go up, and how much did it go up? So we can accumulate that in there. Now, what these devils do is they'll look at a freaking 2008 Toyota at maybe, I don't know, $10,000. They'll look at a 2018, 2023 Toyota, same model, for like $35,000, and then you know what they're gonna tell you? No, the price ain't go up. It's just that in order to match the luxury of the 2023 version, you had to put it at that $35,000 price. So the way they're measuring the price increases by the quality of the product, saying here that unless the quality drastically increased, then we're gonna say that the value went up a lot more. But they're saying, nah, this is pretty much standard for a fresh brand new model, whatever, 2023 Toyota. So we'll say that the inflation rate didn't really go up, but it actually did. So whatever they're showing you now is altered, and we all know that. But even, check this out, even with their altered information, they're still saying that inflation is well above 2%, that they're trying to get it down to. And in order to do that, they got to keep jacking up interest rates. They said, oh, we're going to do 25 BPS. Fuck that, we're going 50. And they got this guy, Jerome Powell, coming out here saying all this madness, and people that understand what's going on, they know what's coming. But the rest of the people have no idea what's coming. You know when they're going to find out? When they see on the news that they can't get money from their bank. They see, maybe they're with TD Bank, and then they see on the news, oh, something is going on with TD Bank. A lot of consumers are upset, and then they show footage of lines. People, hey man, what's going on? I want my money, man. They stay down, let us get the money and shit. And then you say, oh shit, let me. You grab your bag, you try to go there, you find out that that's happening by your crib. That's how a lot of people gonna find out. What's going on? Hey, they locked the doors, man. They're not letting nobody take no money out. What you mean? I gotta pay bills. What you mean? And then you try to check online, and then the app ain't working. So you can't access it digitally. You try to take your credit card, you try to swipe, declined. Now what? Anyway, where are we at?
2 Thessalonians 2:5. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now you know.
Now jump down to verse 7. It starts talking about Esau, the workings. He comes after the workings of Satan, something along those lines.
Verse 7. For the mystery of the iniquity doth already work.
Which was the Roman Empire at the time, and they were already working. Okay, working major tons of iniquity. Go on.
Only he who now letteth will let.
So who's the he? The Most High, right? And he let that happen. He suffered it to happen for prophecy's sake, right? Go on.
Until he be taken out of the way.
Until who be taken out of the way? Esau. Go on.
And then shall that wicked be revealed.
So at that time it was really the Romans, and then they had to go down, and then in the process of time, they came back into power, but now they're being revealed. Go on.
Whom the Lord shall consume with his spirit, with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
And the spirit of his mouth is the scriptures, but it's really us speaking the words of the Lord. All right. Go on.
Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan.
There you go. So I believe it's the word coming or working, that's energia, which shows you that the spirit that these devils are coming in is after the working of Satan. So now let's go back to the book of James, the 5th chapter, dealing with Pluto, right? So Pluto, being the god of riches and mortality, he is an extension of Satan anyway. He's just another demon. That's what it is. These different societies, all they're worshiping are demons. They're different demons. Molech is a demon, Baal's a demon. All these people are demons, but they get attributed with these characteristics. Oh, the god of fire and the god of this and the god of that. But they're just left-hand demons. They're really Satan's minions. And he sends them out to what? To deceive the nations. So Pluto is one of them demons. And they just go by different names in different times. So you have a demon tell you, yeah, during the time of the Egyptians, they call me, I don't know, this. Then the Assyrians called me this. Then the Babylonians called me this. It's still me. It's just the same demon, right?
That rapper Future, he calls himself Pluto.
Oh, wow.
You see what he's about. It's all about the worldly, modern American lifestyle, which is all concerned with just making money, and that's all there is to life, just money, which we know that money is not even real money anyways.
Right. Right. Maybe somebody should send him to the underworld.
He clearly can't see the future.
That's it. on that.
I was gonna say there's a saying. I was gonna say there's a saying. Same shit, different day.
That's it.
So same demon, different time.
That's it. That's all it is. That's all it is. Let's read James 5:1 again.
This is James 5:1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rest of them shall be a witness against you.
Yeah. Now, their gold and silver, which in actuality, we know that real gold and silver doesn't suffer those effects. So their gold and silver is referring on to their currency, their money system that they've set up. And when it says that it is cankered, it means that it is now corrupt, because what they did was they had especially in the US, they shifted away from the gold standard because they needed a currency that was elastic. Something is elastic, is stretchable. You can stretch it. All right, and that's how they have that fiat-based currency. Fiat is just that, make believe. I believe that this IOU is worth something, so it's worth something. That video you sent me on IG about how you had an individual, so basically it was like 3 people, right? Say it's me, it's this brother, and then this brother, right? And we all owe each other. So I take out $10, right? And then the second I take it out, he says, hey, wait, you owe me $20. And I'm like, okay, here's 10, I owe you 10. So he takes the $10, and then just as he's happy, he says, hey, but you owe me $20. So he said, okay, you take this 10, I'll give you the 10 later. And I said, oh, but you owe me $20. So then you give me this 10 right here. There you go, thank you. And then I give it to him. Because remember, I said that I'm going to give you 10. So now I give you that same 10, but now I don't owe you anything. Now you say, oh, okay, cool. Then you give him that 10, so you don't owe him anything. And guess what? He still owes me $10, so he gives me that 10 again, and now we all set. How the hell do you? Yo,
should say it's funny, but it makes sense.
That's it. That's it. It's funny, but it does make sense, right? We all owe each other, and we all don't owe each other, but the money's still with me. See, all it is just a passing, a transfer, you know, because that's how IOUs work. It's not actual money. It's just literally a promise. Yo, I'm gonna give you, like, it's a pledge. I'm gonna give you this money once I get it. So just have this note, like Judah and Tamar. He basically gave her an IOU or a pledge, where he gave, I think it was a staff or a ring or something along those lines. And he said, look, this is going to be the, whatever, what it do. Security. That's how she was, because they were going to put her to death. But that's how she was able to be like, nope, hold up. So she pulled that thing out. He's like, oh, let me fall back. Okay, but the point is, they're dealing with an elastic currency that they can stretch, manipulate, and have it do things that regular gold and silver, which is real money, will not do. And so in this society, now the dollar is starting to collapse, but they're able to collapse it. They can't just collapse gold and silver. That's not something you collapse because it doesn't lose value. But when you have a dollar, you can devalue it or you can revalue it. And that's how they're able to manipulate the people. Okay, so their money is corrupt and it's going to bear witness against them, because now people are going to wise up and say, yo, what type of shit is this? You know what I mean? Like, why this dollar, first off, last time, because people think that I went to the store yesterday, eggs were $10, today is $20. Price of eggs went up. No, price of eggs didn't go up, but the value of your money went down, or your currency, because that's a dollar, right? Dollar is a measurement. So if you really have $1, what do you really have? A measurement, but a measurement of what? Of just faith, right? So now that we're done with that, because the whole point in that was that they gained their riches through that left-hand side, the deceit and the enchantments and the treachery and so on and so forth. But the scriptures tell you that the kingdom is translated from one to another because of riches and ill deceits and so on and so forth. So eventually, what are we witnessing now? We're witnessing the collapse of this society. And they're happy with it because they're collapsing it. We're happy because it's collapsing, but they don't realize that it's not going to come back up as they wanted to. But we still have some stuff on the Renaissance, right?
Yeah, and it actually connected to some information about banks, because it said that modern banking began back then. So no surprise. So let's get right into it. The Renaissance, according to Wikipedia, it says the Renaissance is a period in European history marking the transition from the Middle Ages to modernity and covering the 15th and 16th centuries, characterized by an effort to revive and surpass ideas and achievements of classical antiquity.
Wow, okay.
It occurred after the crisis of the late Middle Ages and was associated with great social change. In addition
Now
to
you notice European history, right? Because speaking from the perspective of Europe, of the Edomites at the time, yeah, because they weren't doing any technological advance. They weren't doing shit. It was all Jake. Even when you deal with the Spain, for example, where you had the Moors, all of those things were Jake. They were Israelites. They were built by them, for them. The communities that Esau was living in was real disgusting. They barely had lights. They didn't even have street lights. That was all Jake. The ideas of coming up with different school systems, different technological advances, using coal for energy, that all came from Jake. But at the time, after you had the first you had the Romans, being pagan and shit. Then during the time of Constantine, they became the Holy Roman Empire, because they were still doing pagan things anyway, but they feigned themselves as Christians. During this time, or some period after, you had a separation, because first off, the original Christians were Israelites, but in process of time, they started to become a separation, to where they were separating Jews and Christians, because now Christian was a more broad term, to where even Edomites and Romans, people who were Roman citizens, could classify as Christians. So by default, Christians were not Jews anymore. They weren't just Jews. So you had Israelites that were Christians, then you had Israelites that were classified as Jews, then you had Israelites that were classified as Moors. So it was almost like three different classifications, but you were all still the same people. However, in process of time, they started to blur that away and make a distinction. So today you hear, wait, you have Jews, then you have Christians. But hold on, the Christians were Jews, they were Israelites. Okay, but in process of time, they got to that point. So when you deal with the Moors, they were who? They were just Israelites practicing the religion of Islam. Islam is not a nationality; it's a religion, it's a practice. Okay, and so when they came up into power and they kicked them out, they pushed them out of Granada, Spain, pushed them down to northwesternish Africa, Morocco, and all these different areas. And then they came up as though they were the ones with all these inventions and shit. No, those were all Israelites.
And you still have it now. You have Jakes that identify as 5%ers,
Yep.
Islam,
Yep.
Jakes that are in the Christian church, and then there's the Israelites, the prophets of the Lord.
Exactly. Yep. So go on.
It says
a lot of Esau's wisdom and knowledge that they actually got. Right, so it goes back to the library in Egypt, right, which is something that Abraham was actually, there's a lot of documents back to Alexandria, Egypt, that shows that Abraham had a influence on the people of Egypt over there. All right, a lot of the people in the land of Canaan and so on and so forth, they were influenced by the teachings of Abraham, the knowledge of Abraham, to arithmetic, mathematics, geometry. A lot of stuff that they learned goes back to the tradition. All right, that's why you have, like Alexandria, you have the biggest library, which was, I believe, was set up by Ptolemy, if I'm not mistaken. All right, but it's all going back to ancient history, and there's even information that Alexandria was one of the most coveted places for ancient philosophy. All right, you had people who traveled to different parts of the world, going all the way back to Asia. They would travel for months. Sometimes it took over a year or two, right, for them to get to Alexandria, just so they could be taught things that's sacred books, right, the ancient knowledge and so forth. Right? All right, and that's again all something that Esau has hidden. All right, but ultimately it's all coming back to the light, right? All coming back to the light.
Yep. So that's where you get the whole concept of the Septuagint. The reason it's in Greek is because they brought Israelites to translate the Masoretic text, the Hebrew, into the Greek, to add it to that library. Because I believe it was at the time of, like you said, Ptolemy II, Philadelphus, and he had somebody that was under him. I think his name was either Demetrius or somebody with a name like that, who basically said, "Oh, you know, have you heard about the laws of the Jews? You know, it's one of the most like sacred-ish kind of texts out there. And the Ptolemy wanted that. He said, yo, I want that in here. You know, so they brought Israelites. They claim it was I think what 6 or a few number from each of the tribes, but we know it couldn't have been each of the tribes because majority of the tribes, 10 tribes were already here in the Americas at that time. But like you were saying, Esau did get his technology and his knowledge of a lot of things from there. Because when you deal with the Ptolemies and you deal with the Seleucids, they were Edomites that had taken over regions that were dwelt in by native Hamites and native they were Mizraimites, okay, and native Syrians. But they were ruling, the Antiochus and all, they were Edomites ruling over Syrians and different, you know, Arameans and so on and so forth. So they had access to all of these things. All right. But occasionally you would even have nationalistic revolts as you did in Egypt. But anyway, let's get back on this. So Esau's not original. He's just a copycat. You know, when you were a kid, they used to say you're a biter. You know, that's what Esau is.
Right. It says it occurred after the crisis of the late Middle Ages and was associated with great social change. In addition to the standard periodization, proponents of a long Renaissance may put its beginning in the 14th century and its end in the 17th century. It says the traditional view focuses more on the early modern aspects of the Renaissance and argued that it was a break from the past.
Yeah, it was a break from the past because they were in some harsh conditions in the past. So they ruled for a bit, and then the Lord basically took them down for a period of time, and then they came back into power to continue their rulership because it was time for the remaining prophecy that they had to fulfill to be fulfilled. And it started with what? Revelation 20, right? That's the prophecy that got fulfilled when they came back up into power. Christopher Columbus, King Ferdinand, Queen Isabella, all of these, Spain, France, Britain, they when they came up into power, that was a fulfillment of prophecy. So that they could then come to the Americas, colonize this place, and then birth America, which would then grow, kick their asses out, which is also prophecy, and then come and fulfill more prophecy, bring us over here as slaves and continue on from there. So it all had to happen just like that.
Reading on, it says, all right, I'll start from the top again. The traditional view focuses more on the early modern aspects of the Renaissance and argues that it was a break from the past, but many historians today focus more on its medieval aspects and argue that it was an extension of the Middle Ages. However, the beginnings of the period, the early Renaissance of the 15th century, and the Italian proto-Renaissance from around 1250 or 1300 overlap considerably with the late Middle Ages, conventionally dated to 1250 to 1500.
And Slakia, when you finish with that, look up hope I didn't forget this guy's name.
Nietzsche?
Nah, this is I feel like it's something Orwell, but I know it's not Orwell. He was one of those individuals that Oliver Cromwell. Oliver Cromwell. Let's look him up. He was one of those individuals that heavily partook in the taking down of Jake. You know, when you go to the line of the Stuart Kings, King James and all them, he was a part of them that executed them, took out the monarch system, and then instituted that whole system with the Commonwealth that you have today. And then he actually ended up enslaving a lot of Jake and then sending them to coast off of Africa and also sending them across, you know, as slaves, part of the slave trade, you know.
It says here, like the modern age and as a transition between both, the Renaissance has close similarities to both, especially the late and early subperiods of either. The intellectual basis of the Renaissance was its version of humanism.
Its version of humanism. Okay, go on.
Derived from the concept of Roman humanitas and the rediscovery of classical Greek philosophy.
The rediscovery. Okay. So discovering again. All right. Now, but like it says, it originated from Rome, right? Because there was the same people coming back. And that's why in Revelation 13, it tells you that the dragon gave him a seat or his power. because their foundation, it all came from Rome. All right, go on.
Says, such as that of Protagoras, who said that man is the measure of all things.
Oh, would you look at that? All right, and it was also during that time when you had a whole lot of this BS that started coming out, evolution, Darwinism, all this shit. Because remember, it was a part of their deception. The Big Bang Theory. They don't go ask Jacob Rothschild if he believes in the Big Bang Theory. He does not believe in the Big Bang Theory. He does not believe in carbon dating. He does not believe the Earth is 360 million years old. These elites don't believe this shit because they know it's not true. First off, they push it out there for the average people to believe it. Oh shit, I thought that was the you look like him, right?
Yeah, you're probably like, what?
He's like, what? Okay. But yeah, so these elites, they know. They know that, hey, that shit don't work, but push it out there for them anyway, because what happens is they push it out, and then they have people that believe it, and they build this sort of buffer zone to where you have dumb people that believe these theories that will fight so hard for these theories to push the agenda upon the people even more. So the elites themselves don't need to come out and say, hey, no, believe it. They got people that believe it that will do that job for them. But they know much better than that. That shit don't make no sense. And plus, them demons told them long ago, hey, listen, bro, don't bring that shit over here, man. All right? You want to work together, you're going to need to understand we're going to need to set some ground rules. Ain't no 60 trillion billion years ago. What? How do you have one bone and then you carbon date one side of it and it tells you 35 million years ago and another side tells you 2,000 years ago? But it's the same bone. What's going on here? Something ain't adding up. Oh well, when you carbon date it, you look at the rate of the rate the carbon was decaying. So when you get to the half-life, you see that if it's about 20, if it's decaying at this rate, then that means it would have taken 200 million years to get here. So you got to double that to get the full life. What? Can you look at an individual and tell every single meal that he ate the day before, every single thing, every single step he took without cameras? No. How the hell are you gonna tell me what happened 2,000 plus whatever years ago? Dinosaurs. You ever wonder how they get colors of dinosaurs? Who was there? Which one of you was there to see a dinosaur and say, okay, he was brown skinned, he was green, he had a long nose? Which one of you was there to do that? But they depict it so well. You would think, damn, this shit real as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Esau keep changing his story about the dinosaurs. Now he said that they look like birds.
Right.
They have feathers all of a sudden. Like, where are you coming up with this shit?
Yeah.
Man is a storyteller.
Neanderthals and all that,
Yeah, that's part of their deception, man, going around to the nations. All right, a lot of people actually believe this shit because they talk this shit is sweet, right? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
They teach these things, and people actually believe this shit. And all of us were in school. A lot of us, it didn't make sense to us, so we never bought into it because we grew up in the Christian churches. All right, so at least we understood the concept of creation. We didn't understand this as a truth, but we understood that the Most High created all things. All right, but these devils try to influence us to make us think that there's something known as a Big Bang Theory, like you said, right, which goes billions of years ago. Something that nobody could track, but yet they got evidence on it, they tracked it, they knew exactly what happened, and so on and so forth. And again, at the end of the statement, it says it's a theory, but yet they teach it like it's a fact. And people actually believe these theories like they're facts, like the evolution theory. You got people who actually believe that people actually went from apes and monkeys into humans and shit. You're like, wait, tell me. So, who really, you know what I'm saying? Like, but yet, the geologists estimated the first skull was that of a Negroid skull. But yet, the first people that were known on this earth were Neanderthals, were all looking Edomite cavemen. Like, the whole story doesn't make sense. Okay? But the reason why they push that is to show you how God is the tongue. To the point where they want to tell the world, they want to really influence and want to believe that creation and everything that you see, this majestic earth, and everything in it, its mechanisms and everything that forms this earth, just all happened coincidentally. It all happened by accident. It just happened by chance. Freaking atoms came out of no flash, and then we have all this greatness that happened. Well, where did those two atoms come from? Did anyone ask those questions? You know what I'm saying? Oh, we got this Hadron Collider. We're going to spin it with increased amount of speed. Once it hits and collides, we're gonna have a whole new universe and shit. Like Esau, you're about the hell out, man. This is why you gotta be stopped. You know, spouse must be stopped. Esau, you part of that shit, nigga. All this bullshit you put on this earth, the truth is finally coming out. And that's what makes you uncomfortable. Because why? Common sense. You choose to love common sense, right? Right? It makes you put you together and it gives you more. But Esau wants to put you together to get 22. All right? It's not gonna work. Right?
Good point. Actually, I had a precept. Okay, somebody else has.
1 Timothy 6:20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust. Avoid profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science, falsely so called. See, because this man comes with this so-called science, like the brother was going into, but you can't even transport some chemicals from one part of the country to the other without destroying everything. But now we were expected to believe that you can date the earth back to billions of years ago. You never even went to the moon. You're a liar. You know, you're the lowest of the low. You're the base man. Look at your society. You know, and it's all unraveling. All the things that you've done, poisoning. You know, I was reading an article that they had poisoned. They had been dumping mercury into the Gadite reservation into their waters for centuries, not for centuries, but since about the 60s. Doing it at all is enough, you know, but he's done it over long periods of time. And they all have deformities, and they gave him like 70 mil for like some bullshit center for the people that got mercury poison. I was up in Canada. So this man, and it says that his hand shall seek to please the poor. So now he's trying to come, oh, look, we're going to help you out. But you already did irreparable damage. How do you pay somebody back for making their children with deformities? There's no amount. You have to pay with your blood. The blood, you know, blood that defiled the land, and you will have to, your blood must be spilled now. And that's what our great power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, is going to do.
Right, see, now this is one thing Esau, that's why they demonize us so much, because we're not talking about no damn reparations. We're not talking about no damn equality. We're talking about payback. Everything you did, according to the scriptures, you're going to get back. Nope. You got to understand it. That's prophecy. We're going into that in the class the other day about vengeance, all right? Because of what you've done to the children of Israel. This is why the prophecy state what's going to happen to that nation, specifically the Edomites. They're trying everything in their power to try to avoid that. You can create all the aid that you want. Anything you want. You can spin the narrative, you can demonize us, you can do whatever you want. Prophecy stands. Just like how the men of the Lord are standing up on their feet and teaching the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, that's prophecy. And that's something that strikes fear. These devils, that's what the scripture says, that what? Great fear for those that witnessed it. Right? So that's why you got guys like Vocab being pushed out there, and you can see that they're building the narrative. All of a sudden, this guy is going into history you don't even know about. You know, how the hell does he get all this information? How does he get the connections to get to all these people and interviewing them? And, oh, this person is this, and we went into this, and we found this person, the cousin of this man. And how do you get all these people? Where do you find these people? You know, so that's how you know they're building the case, they're building the narrative to demonize the men of the Lord. You see, but Esau understands this, though. You know, when you go back into the 60s, you had something known as the so-called Black Panther, right? And they understood that, hey, that the so-called blacks, the Latinos, Native Americans all coming together, fighting against one enemy, which is the government. Okay, they're coming together to form one power against this one specific threat, right? And Jake was going into it. They were like, yo, going back into their history, you know, just like same things that we say, but just not with the scriptures, just not with the spirit of power behind Bashem Yahushua went. You see? So now they were able to infiltrate that and destroy from within. And they're trying to do the same thing on this side, but it doesn't work like that. You see, so what they're gonna do is, okay, well, you can't demonize them because we have no power, we didn't create this. So the only thing we do is try to people understand where this all comes from. That's why vocab comes in. All this documentation, all this almost like he's made a documentary. You know, this guy's so going back to one West. Okay, so this person, he's forming everything so they can use it to demonize the men of the Lord. And we can see it from a mile away, right? He comes in slithery, talking about, oh, well, they didn't really say this, you know, so I'll give him credit. You know, GMS did not really like that. No. Don't fall for those tricks, man. Don't give this devil no credit, because that's all part of the all of them to see. They could feel like, you Bible saying that back. No, he's a devil. He's a devil, point blank, period. And that's why he keeps coming against his Israelite. Why? Why? If you're an Israelite, you read the Bible so much, why do you come against people that we teach the Bible? Huh? But it shows that you're a devil. That's right. You got it.
That's right. Right. What was that precept? Not before that one. There was one here I called 64. All right, let's get that one. Yep.
This is Psalm 64:1. Hear my voice, O God, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked.
So who's the enemy right now? Primarily, numero uno is Esau, Edom. All right. And it says what? Hide me from what now?
Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked.
So in essence, what is the secret counsel of the wicked? When they go behind these closed doors and they have these meetings and these what's that, Micah 2:1? They devise iniquity upon their beds. So the things that you don't hear on the outside, the things that they discuss behind the scenes, and then they practice it when the morning is light. Okay, go on. And who do they primarily target? Us, the Israelites.
From the insurrection of the workers of iniquity,
Esau, Edom.
who whet their tongue like a sword.
Whet, W-H-E-T, means to sharpen. So they sharpen their tongue like a sword. Like if somebody's getting ready to use a sword, they sharpen it. Go on.
And bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words,
So they prepare, right? They're preparing. Go on.
that they may shoot in secret at the perfect.
So if you notice, they don't come out openly. They don't come out openly and say, yeah, these Israelites that do no. They always come with some behind backhanded shit. They never come direct because they want to shoot in secret. They want to throw them. It's like somebody throwing subs at you. They're throwing like low-key jabs at you in public. So they can look like they're just joking or whatever, but they're really trying to get at you. And then if you react, then you sound like you're the one in the wrong, in the open.
Right. For example, look what they do with our videos, right? You know, when you shadow ban others' videos, you shoot at us in the secret because you're doing things behind the scenes. When the open, it seems like ain't nothing going on. You know, video just got slowed down for no reason. Because of spreading conspiracy theory. What the fuck you mean by that? Can you specify exactly what you mean by conspiracy theory? That everything we're saying is not true. Is that what you're trying to say, Esau? That everything we're saying is not true to the point where we're talking about the World Economic Forum and they're coming out and telling you exactly what we're saying, word for word. You see what I'm saying? So where's the conspiracy at? Where's the theory at? You see? But yeah, that's what they do. They hide in secret. They come up with all these plans, like you said, formulate all these plans, come up with them. And what, fabricate it and use it as a fact. You see what I'm saying? Like the past 2 years. What have we been going to? A narrative building the whole entire world so you can take that on TV. And everything we're saying is being what? Used is being used like, it's significant. That's misinformation. If it's misinformation, leave it alone. Why are you so worried about it? You gonna protect the world from misinformation now?
Yeah. But that's because they're being revealed. You know, so they hurt. It's more than that.
Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter.
Yeah. So behind the scenes, that's what they do. They don't stop and say, the scriptures tell you that they didn't consider the latter end. So they don't stop and say, it's what we're doing. You know, should we take a step back and really reanalyze? Nah, they don't do that shit. No, they keep on going. How can we destroy this? How can we do this? Oh, I got this idea. Let's get them through the medical stuff. Let's get them through the food. Let's get them through the air. Let's get them through their jobs. Let's get them mentally through the TV shows, through the media, through the songs. They encourage themselves in this matter, and they pass it on down. Go on.
They commune of laying snares.
So their conversations, they're not talking about Nicki Minaj twerking on stage or what's her name? Rihanna having a new baby. Like that's what these people are worried about. These at least they don't what? Why the hell do they know? They don't give a damn about that. It's like if you are a farmer and you own all these cattle and all these different things, the drama between if you walking by one of your fences and you see two turkeys flying at each other and shit, you know, and then they look the other way, and then they walk the other way. You ain't gonna stop and get, oh damn, what's up going on? Oh shit, he broke up with Shorty, or she got caught cheating. You don't give a damn. Your mindset is, all right, they're fed, they're good. All right, aside from that, you don't concern yourself with the drama that goes on in there. So these elites ain't having conversations about Cardi B, getting into a fight with I don't know, Meg Thee Stallion or some bullshit like that. What the fuck is that? They commune of what? Laying snares. So maybe he walks past and he looks at the turkey, but in his mind he's thinking, well, I got guests coming over, so which one is going to be good for the Thanksgiving? That's the level that he's thinking on. As with the other turkeys, it ain't, whoa, shit, oh shit, he's getting into it. You better watch out. The master gonna get you know. So it's the same thing here. These elites, they're not worried about the drama and this. That's to distract you. They're more thinking about, okay, how are we gonna get this micro seed beside their asses? Fatten them up a bit, put their guards down. But what event can we use? We did the C roam, right? and that went on for a little bit. The big C. We tested the effectiveness of propaganda using the big V, okay? But now we need to push towards, we can see that we got pretty far, because you notice they like they saying, you had me in the first half, so that's what they did. They had the world in the first half. Everything got shut down. Of course, we were telling you it was BS, but everything got shut down. They were moving, they locking down this, locking down that. They're showing video clips of New Zealand and over here and over here. And then the shit started, oh, we found out some information that something ain't right over here. Oh, we found out so now they've learned that, okay, the next thing we do, because that was a trial, the next thing is not a trial. We can't go light. We can't do some soft shit and then back up and no, fuck that. We got to make the chaos so, if the propaganda is big enough, as they say, tell a big enough lie often enough, or however they say it, and people will believe it to be true. But these devils know that they need a major crisis or major crises, more than one. Because when you have one crisis, no matter how big it is, somebody's on the other side looking to see how orchestrated is this? What's happening here? But you can have a series of events, this one here, this one here, this one here, in different sectors. You may say, yo, this is orchestrated, but even still, it's going to be too much going on. So these devils are going to try and overload the system, overload the people. So it doesn't matter how woke you are, you're still going to get caught up in this joint. Order out of chaos. Exactly. So they need what? Maximum chaos. In order, put it like this, right? Fear is control. When somebody's afraid and you are in a position of power, they will listen to you because they are afraid. But in order to really get somebody to fear or listen to you in the maximum way, you need to instill the maximum level of fear. If somebody went up into a bank, big brolic looking dude, right? Just walks up there and says, yo, give me all the money in this bank. They're going to look at him. They're going to press that button and say, security, come get this guy out of here. He looks threatening, but he ain't threatening enough for you to listen to him. He's just a dude. Now, say he walked up in there with a RPG strapped to his back. He opened up his shit like Neo from the Matrix, and you just see guns. And he got 2 guns in here and a whole round looking like Rambo and shit. Boom. Like what's this nigga's name? Trevor. No, boom, like some hillbilly shit. Give me all the damn money, nigga. At that point, if he tells you don't press that button, you're not gonna press that button. You're gonna give him all that money. You're gonna do it quick. Why? Because he's instilled a greater level of fear. Now, if somebody walked up in here with a bomb strapped to his ass and with a button like this, he's gonna get more than the money in the bank. He's gonna get the attention of the whole U.S. saying, look, these are my demands. All right, we taking over the prison, so back up. So the point is, the maximum level of chaos or the maximum level of fear instills more control, and that's what these devils know. So the next thing that they're coming with is, we really got to do this all out. That's why the scripture said it'll be a time like never before, because in previous times they've always held back because it's a test run. But in this time, they're not going to hold back. Revelation 12:12. They're going to come down with great wrath. Look. The chips are down. All right. What we got? Keep going on that.
I'll start from verse 5 again. They encourage themselves in an evil matter.
So they keep themselves going, pitching new ideas, New ways to do this. Ooh, child support. That's a new way we could throw some shit in there. You know, let's make the divorce system a bit more strenuous, but for the man. You know, let's set up the cops to look more like this. Let's all these infrastructural changes and all these things they do. It's all designed to be on a systemic level. How do you fight something like that? Unless you change the whole system, and one man can't do that. Go on.
They commune of laying snares privily.
Right. So of privily, right? But meaning that low key. So they don't discuss, yo, how can we openly go in? No. How do we do this? For example, okay, if we're gonna do the whole, if our goal is we wanna kill people, we want to start with Ohio, how are we gonna do that? Okay, let us have this train holding all these chemicals derail at this point, but then make sure there's a media blackout on it, and at the same time, let them be talking about some balloons in the air and shit. That's what we're gonna focus on. So in the whole, now their mindset is not just, oh, we just want to do a blackout on this shit. No, they know that people are gonna find out at some point. But the whole thing behind it is they always want to throw you off. That's how you deceive people. They want to throw you off. So where you think you're on their trail, they're leaving breadcrumbs in the wrong direction, basically. So they're following the footprints. Meanwhile, they're already in a different country somewhere, and they got you on a wild goose chase. That's what these devils do. So now they're saying, okay, good. How do we lay these snares privily? Meaning that we're gonna make it so low key, that when you think you figured out the deepness of it, you just scratching the surface. And by the time you figure it out, like in Money Heist, that's what they used to do to the authorities the whole time. They get, oh yeah, we finally got him. You kick it in the door and ain't nobody in there. It's like a audio recording playing. They're like, oh, shit. That's how these devils move. On.
They're saying, who shall see them?
Who shall see them? Because they cover their tracks in their minds. You ain't gonna have Jacob Rothschild actually sign some shit with his signature that's got something that can be traced back to him. No. They have footmen who have footmen who have footmen who have footmen who have frontmen who have agents who are in high positions, political positions. So the order, I mean, the order goes up, way up the ladder. And these Rothschilds, they don't give direct specific orders. They don't say, look, go put out a law specifically to increase child support rates by no. They don't do them calculations. They give out the orders on a more overview level. We want to have this done by this point in time. Get it done. And those that are under them who study the psychology and the infrastructure and shit, who say, okay, the order is we got to have this done by, start working on it. Okay, you work on the media, you work on this, you work on that. Then they pass the information on down, and it gets more granular the lower and lower it gets. Oh, okay, we want to make sure we oppress the Israelite man even more. I got you. Okay, on the child support aspect, what can we do? They got their team. Oh, well, we could make it more against them. Even if it's not his child, we can make him pay for it. Oh, yeah, let's go ahead. Throw that in there. And then, boom, here you go. So when we say it goes back to the elites, there's a whole level of chain of command before it gets back up to them. But they're still the problem anyway. Now, real quick, Slack, I know some of my high time too.
An example of that is in the book of First Kings with the Heavenly Father and his council.
Yeah.
When he asked the angels, basically, who's going to deceive Ahab to go to Ramoth Gilead? Bunch of demons on the left hand side said this and said that, and then one says, I will persuade him. I will be a lying spirit among all his prophets. So the Most High just needs something done, but it's like the demons, which are the evil angels, are the ones who carry out the will, the ones who carry out how it's going to be done. And they suggest, oh, this and that,
Yep. And the right hand angels too. Yeah. It'll come back. I'll let you know. Yeah, go ahead. But yeah, that's how they roll, right? So, you got something, Aaron?
I was going to say, that's why you have some people in secret societies. They're secret because they don't want to know.
Right.
And that's why we are so dangerous, because we're spilling all the secrets.
That's
You
it.
know? And if you have any plan, right? You don't want anyone to know about it, and then you have one person that's telling everybody else the plan out in the open, what do? You get pissed, like, yo, my man, calm down. I don't want to know about it, relax. And then it's like, at first it's like, yo, bro, this nigga there. And then every single week imagine that. And then you look over to your left, there's more people waking up and saying the same things that you want them to be saying.
Yep.
And then you look to your right, there's more of these Hebrew Israelites. You look over to every corner, where this for? What we
Mhm.
gotta do? You see? So Esau is constantly stressed out. That's why they're always watching that video to hear what they're gonna say this time.
Yep.
Yo, you know how many times I get my videos clipped? Bad times I get my videos clipped. And I'm not even saying anything that crazy. All I'm saying is what they got going on, and this that's what's going to destroy it. And they get all heated about that. And that shows you that what we're doing is doing way more damage than anyone ever thinks. You see, it's a little things, little drops of water is what makes the mighty ocean.
That's right.
You know, brothers, don't take your job for granted, man. Every little thing that we do in this ministry is breaking this whole system down quicker and faster and with way more heavier than you know. Why? Because it's with the power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Not with us. We're just vessels. But the words that come out does so much damage. Look at what's going on around the world. I mean, look at Esau. Look at the technology he has to come against us. They got technology, AI technology, to study how we speak, the language in which we speak. We use that Lashman Kudash, the way brothers speak to each other, and so forth. They got technology to try to understand what these men are saying on the phone. You see? So that should tell you something, man. That what we're doing is not in vain. All right? It means a great deal to Yahweh Shemel Shai. But definitely to you, some heat.
That's right.
All right?
Yeah, you know, beautifully said, man. That's that, and that's why they're so hurt, like you said, with what we're doing. And then ultimately they're even more hurt because it's by the will of the Lord. And anything that's set up by the Lord, man cannot disannul what the Lord has put in place. And that's why we're good, because the Lord has us in place. That's it. 1441. You know, 5441. That's power, right? The Lord has us in place. So you ain't gonna be able to move us from. If the Lord doesn't want us here, we're not gonna be here. So if we're here, then the Lord wants us here. And as long as the Lord wants us here, we're gonna stay here. Ain't nothing that these devils can do about it. Got it.
This is Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 14. It says, "Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth, and I have set thee so." So Esau Edom is the anointed one that he is that has been set up to what? Cover up the earth in lies. And like the brother was saying, what? We're uncovering those lies. Like I believe you brought the precept earlier in 2 Thessalonians, through the spirit of the mouth, he's going to reveal him. So now it's like all we're doing is bringing out information. We're uncovering things. And now I believe that's also in my brain. I need a new one. I think it's Obadiah, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I need a new brain.
How can his hidden things?
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Salaki, I know.
It's all good. It's all good. Wait, yeah, how should I come for one? Don't worry.
You new body, brother.
That's it.
But yeah, just to add to the brother's point. So that's why they're so angry, because like what we're doing right now through the spirit of the Lord is putting information out there that they don't want, that they have done a diligent search in covering up. And now that it's being uncovered, it's like, yo, why is this out here? We did all this work, all this money, everything. Oh, I think that's not this time. No, that's not. Okay, sorry. All this work and all this time to hide this away, and now just by simply you just reading and, well, you know, the Lord putting it on us to read certain things, you're just bringing this out. It's like, no. We need to clip all this information. We need to get you guys off the streets, because this is too much.
That's it.
We spend too much time and effort to, you know, keep this hidden. This is because remember, this is how they keep a stronghold on the world. This is how they built their foundation. Their foundation is built upon lies. And if you uproot that, then it's like, yo, you're gonna uproot us. It's like,
Right.
nah, I gotta get you out of here.
That's why they're trying. They're trying hard. They gotta try harder.
Psalms 119 and verse 110. The wicked have laid a snare for me, yet I erred not from thy precepts. Yeah, so they have the snare laid out, and the precepts, the scriptures, is like the light that's shining on the precept. So shining on the snare. So we're looking at the snare, we can see it clearly because the truth is with us.
Right.
But the rest of our people, they don't have the light. So the snare is, they can't see it at all. That's why a snare is supposed to be private. And then boom, they walk right into it and they strung up by their feet. But us having this knowledge, we're able to see it and actually see it from a mile away, call a play. And really that's the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. He's calling a play. Like in the NBA, and the dude says, he calls a shot. I'm gonna hit that corner three. Watch this.
Right.
Then he goes and does it. So they know they got to respect his game. So ultimately, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai does that on the highest levels, man.
Right.
So all them snares that they got set up, you know, like the brother was saying, how is his hidden things searched out? One of the main things about Esau is his identity. The fact that you are the Edomites. That's where that's a super media blackout on that. You don't hear nobody talk about who are the Edomites? Who are the descendants of Jacob and who are the descendants of Esau? You hear more about the Israelites than about Esau, because he's like, all right, well, you could know that y'all Israelites, but we're going to kind of, you know, slide this way, slide that way. We're going to give you some false doctrine here, sprinkle a little there. But when it comes to the identity of the Edomites, that's the real touchy subject, right? Like a lot of those videos about exposing them videos get clipped real fast, man.
Books be super expensive.
Yeah, the book I have it, who is Esau Edom, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you see it, I think it's like over 1,000.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say too, the point that the brother Ashgar made there regarding the snares. Now, scriptures talk about how Esau is a cunning hunter, or he was a cunning hunter. All right, he still has the same cunning hunter spirit even till today. All right, the technology that they create now, when you go into the skills of a hunter, especially in the ancient world, what they used to do was you have the snare, and normally they will snare for like a deer or any animal like that. Now, these animals are not stupid, all right? They're very intelligent. These animals, all animals are intelligent, all right? To a degree. Now, what the hunters do is they'll have a trap or a snare. What they'll have is that maybe in a field or in the grass somewhere, they'll put it right at the path where the animal is walking, right? Because normally when you, as a hunter, you see the patterns. That's part of watching. So that's where Esau has his intelligence and so on and so forth. They track you and all this. They gather intel, watching what are this person's patterns, what is your tendency, right? So they can use it against you. So the hunter will watch the animal's patterns. So every morning they come here at this time to drink water. And then during the afternoon, they go underneath this tree over here to get some shade because the sun is beaming too much. And then right lower, during the later parts of the afternoon, they go to the field to graze and eat and so on and so forth. So they know all that. So what the hunter does is he tracks the path that the animals always go through. They put a snare there and cover it up with some grass, just enough for the animal not to see it. Plus, the animals been going over that same path every single day for weeks. Nothing has ever happened. So that overnight, come over there during the night where the animals are not even around, and they come and set up the trap. So in the morning, when the animals come past through that path, you might have a couple that might pass through with no problem. But then the hunter will chill in the corner, something waiting. So the moment the animal makes that move, walking through, the snare catches him, he comes in there, grabs him. See? So the same thing that Esau is doing when you pay attention to how they move with technology and how they set things up, it's the same thing. That's why just call them cunning hunter. They actually think about these things. So like you said, they have things in motion. They have things set up that through the spirit of Yahweh Shai, through the scriptures, we can see. Because we can have the understanding of, okay, well, we can know that there's a hunter around. We are sheep, right? At the end of the day, we are sheep, right? So we know that there's a hunter around, which is Esau Edom. So the Lord puts that spirit out there to show us, yo, you walk in here, don't walk through this path this time around. Go through here. And that's because of what we have the shepherd guiding us, Yahushua. See? So he's like, no, you guys go through here. And then the sheep who are without a shepherd, what happens to them? They get taken by the snares of the hunter. You see? And that's these philosophies, right? These small little things that people get tripped over by, and so on and so forth. But the elect never get tripped over by. Why? Because we're protected and guided by Yahweh Shai, by the spirit of Yahweh Shai, with the truth, with the scriptures, the knowledge. You see? So that's our guiding compass. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to add that in there as part of the nature of a hunter.
Yep.
All right?
And a hunter watches their prey, like the brother was saying. They study their prey. So Esau already knows about Jake to the umpteenth degree, better than they know themselves sometimes. Yep. All they know in that snare, they just got to have a big booty hole. Jake's going to be in that motherfucker. They just put a nice fat blunt, line them up. Jake's going to be in that motherfucker. And really the ultimate snare, like our Lord said, it will come as a snare upon the earth because they're going to want to be tied into the system. So then you want to be in the system so bad, if you want to be in a so-called white man's world so bad, you're going to compromise yourself. You're going to do certain things. And ultimately, you're going to be taken in that snare, which is that charagma, the MOTB. And then you're going to be fit for nuclear destruction. So we're out here as a labor of love to warn you, like, there's a snare right there. Watch out for that shit. But yet our people hate us for that, which is like counterintuitive, but that's just what it is because that's the Lord putting a strong delusion on them. Because it's so obvious that really the Lord got to keep them in that stupefied state because it's so obvious that it's like it's plain as day. Right. So that's the left hand at work, man.
You have to blind them. Got it, bro.
Yeah, this is the Hebrew word for the word that the brother brought out, Aharon. This is the Hebrew word for cunning, is yadai, and it says to perceive and see, find out and discern. At the bottom, at the Strong's definition, also says to ascertain by seeing, including observation. So the Hebrew word for cunning is yadai, which means to what? To observe, to learn to know someone by observation, by watching someone, which is the same thing like a serpent does. Before it strikes you, it has to watch you and see what you're doing before it strikes you.
But there's a scripture that says that a leopard shall watch over their cities, which is referring to Esau, his police and all this shit. But if you look at the traits and the characteristics of like undercover cops, those are humanistic imitations of animalistic traits. Like that's what a leopard does. They hide in areas where you won't see them, and then they slowly creep up on you. So if you really if you jump into the mind of a deer or an animal that just out of nowhere, 1 second you eating, the next second there's a whole leopard right behind your ass. That's like when you driving, the next thing you know, you look at your rear lights and there's a whole fucking NYPD or some shit right up on your ass. You're like, where'd he come from? Because he was hiding in the cut. Watch it with his radar gun. Somebody with a big ass mustache going bald in the center of his head, and he's just watching your ass. You can come out, walk into your car and shit, but yeah, you got it, bro.
His wife is with Tyrone. So like,
That's it. That's it.
so he's trying to take it out on Jake. They proud, they use stealth. Like the brother's saying, those are all characteristics of predatory cats.
Right. Hey, that's why the scriptures tell you that they do a diligent search, right? All these research is tested at it. What's that? R&D. That's a new thing now. Research and development. That's all they do is to weaponize the intelligence that they have against Jake. When it falls down, bro, it's not just trying to study this shit so we could come up with a plan to cure humanity of all this illness and diseases and hunger. Nah, nigga, you're behind all this shit. Like it takes a sick fuck to say I'm gonna create a disease that over time I'm gonna have to be the one to bring a cure. Like Bill Gates, think of Bill Gates that he's creating lab-grown meat that causes cancer, but yet tells you, oh, there's nothing to worry about. What type of sick fuck do some shit like that? Only a devil, man. Come on, tell them that they're devils and then they get all sick. There was he was on trial, I believe, in the 90s, 96 or 98, one of them. And you have Bill Gates, small little kid, eat my little cute kid. And you just smack the fuck out of him and you be out of there, bro. And he just sitting there like a tormented little kid, just sitting there. And they were asking him questions like, so should you take up the consequences of what could possibly happen with this kind of thing that you were doing? And he just sitting there quiet. He tell this nigga's deranged, bro. And he just sitting there quiet. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And they said, so what about the word consequences don't you really understand? He's like sitting there quietly. He goes, I don't think about consequences.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
like, we're dealing with a devil right now, man. See, so you're surprised when you see and hear the things that they come up with the plans that they have. It's like, so you're going to destroy the world as it is and then create what? Out of what? What are you really going to create that's going to be better than what we have now? You see what I'm saying? All because of what? Control and power. You see, that's all going back to the cunning devices, man. They search out iniquities. All right, they do a diligent search, all to what? To destroy the nation of Israel, man. But it's not going to happen.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Let's get that. Yep.
Isaiah,
You still got that in Micah?
Isaiah 6 and verse 9. And he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not.
Meaning what? They're gonna see, they're gonna hear the message, but they're not gonna be able to perceive it, okay, or retain it. Go on.
But perceive not, make the heart of this people fat.
And the Hebrew word there for heart is lab, which means your mind. So when the Lord said make their heart fat, all right, it doesn't mean that the Lord is gonna make their physical. He's gonna give them, you know what I'm saying, heart fat. Okay, but what it means is that the Lord is going make them slow of understanding when it comes to this word.
And it reads, make the heart of this people fat and make their ears heavy and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their heart and convert and be healed. Then said I, Lord, how long?
Right. And he said what? And convert and be healed. So the whole point is the Most High doesn't want a good portion of people to get this word. Because if they do, then they're going to repent. And if they repent, then the Lord's going to heal them. And he said, I don't want that. So the Lord has people that he chooses. The Lord has favorites, and the Lord has people that he just doesn't like. That's how he set up the program. Okay? Go on.
Then said I, Lord, how long? And he answered, until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate.
Right. So you're going to have Israelites stuck in that wicked mindset, that blinded state, up until the destruction hits. Okay? Because that's the point. Lord don't want, not even right before. No. You're going to get the judgment, and then you're going to get it. While you going through it, you're going to have a lot of time to reflect. Through pain, you're going to learn righteousness. And then you're going to come back all right. Now you've done the time. You did the crime. You've done the time. You repented. And now you've been forgiven. All good now. Right? End of story. Sweetness. Get that what you got.
Hey, our power is fair, man. Our power is just.
Micah chapter 6, verse 12. For the rich men thereof are full of violence, and the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies, and their tongue is deceitful in their mouth. You go.
But as it says, Saki, read that again, actually. Their tongue is deceitful in their mouth, right? Read that again.
Micah chapter 6, verse 12. For the rich men thereof are full of violence.
So who are the rich men in this time? Esau, Edom, right? They're the ones who own 3/5 of the world's wealth, so-called, right? And it says they're full of violence. That's why you got demons like Bill Gates who can sit there and say, I don't think about consequences. And the scriptures say that they didn't consider the latter end. They don't worry about what's going to come out of this, and wow, what if it backfires? What if we're creating nuclear weapons? What happens if somebody decides that they want to use those weapons on us? Or if something goes wrong, well, we'll deal with it when we get there. Right? So as it says, they're full of violence. That is their natural characteristic. As a matter of fact, let's get Psalms 53. It talks about the and then also in Habakkuk second chapter. That's right. Let's read that again.
Micah chapter 6, verse 12. For the rich men thereof are full of violence.
Full of violence. Not half full, not a quarter, but 100% full. Go on.
And the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies.
And the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies, which they do, and they continue to do. They're actually forgers of lies. It tells you that in the book of Job. So they come up with this joint. They're masters at it. Go on.
And their tongue is deceitful in their mouth.
Right, meaning that the words that they speak. So they've mastered the art of deception. As a matter of fact, even in Daniel 8 and I think it's 28 or 25, going back to Antiochus, it said that he was like a master of dark sentences, meaning that he was good at being double tongued. He knew how to play that game real well. Okay, and that travels all the way on down to Esau today. That's why you can have an old demon like Fauci come up here and say all this level of madness, and yet the dude is like still talking his shit. And now people are like, oh, but where he at now? Where a man's at? He was on TV every single day. He was like a celebrity of a whole year and a half. Oh no, we gotta listen to what the experts say. You know, let's stand apart and let the experts come and talk. And he comes on there and he starts telling you his bullshit, and slow the curve, slow the curve and all that bullshit. You've been slowing the curve for damn near 16 months. The curve ain't never slowed down, nigga. Oh, we gotta go for herd immunity. What happened to herd immunity? Oh, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? We're just throwing the mandates. And now they're all backing up. But the reason they're able to do that is because people are so low of mind. They're so docile. They're so retarded, meaning they're slow of mind, or they're slow. They're mentally retarded. They're slow of mind. Okay. It's so much so that they can eat everything, and then the same person can lie to them. It comes out that they lied, and the person comes out and says another thing, and then they believe it again.
Like a wild beast. Like a wild beast, because all you got to do is come with some new distraction. Look over here.
Right.
Look over here. Look over here, old Cardi B and Offset got a new Happy Meal at McDonald's. You know, and they already have the system set up. Like the brother was going into the elite, they don't micromanage the bottom feeders.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They set up the agenda. You better get it done, or your ass gonna be sleeping with the fishes. You know, and they on the right hand that applies to us. We know what the system of the Lord is for this ministry, and we already ought to know what to do. In the same way they feel on the left hand, their wicked peons better know what they ought to do to continue to bring forth the NWO.
Right. Yep. Come on that. But that was on that verse. So we're gonna keep exposing this damn devil.
Says in verse 13, therefore also will I make thee a sick, therefore also will I make thee sick in smiting thee.
Yeah. So the Lord's gonna make them sick and smiting them. And they're gonna get messed up. They already losing sleep now. They often wake up in cold sweats. But that's okay because they think that, you know what, it's just a part of it. We're getting closer and closer to the end game, so it's okay. No, it ain't okay. Let's get that in Psalms 53.
This is Psalms 53 and 1.
No, that's not the one. 58. This is, I think, 58 and 3. Yeah. Water. I always get that.
Yeah, I always mix things up there.
Let's hear what the scriptures guys say about this devil.
This is Psalms 58 and 1. Do ye indeed,
Go to 3. 3 and 3. Yeah.
verse 3, the wicked are estranged from the womb.
So who are the wicked? Malachi, the first chapter, tells you who the wicked are. It tells you that Esau is the border of wickedness, right? So that is his territory. So it says the wicked are estranged from the womb. Go ahead.
They go astray as soon as they be born.
As soon as they be born. Why? Because the second they're born, they're able to start expressing their spirit through their body. And as they grow and they grow and they grow, their nature, their natural, you may put it like this, right? You may have an Edomite that gets raised a certain kind of way, but his nature will show forth when he reacts to certain things. He may be brought up as the sweetest boy in the world, but his nature will show forth how he reacts to certain things. Piss him off one day to the point where he's really looking forward to something, and you just like greatly disappoint him. You're gonna see the redness of Esau Edom, okay? Because that's just them by nature. They just destroy shit. They get mad and they the type of niggas to punch holes in their walls, you know? And then later on realize that, oh shit, now I gotta pay for this joint, and now my freaking damn hand is broken. You know, or they get mad and you just see them. There's a whole dinner table. Oh, there was a video like that. There was I think it was like a Thanksgiving dinner. Everybody sitting down. I don't know what happened. The Edomite kid got upset. He just like, oh yeah? He gets up and just flips the whole table. I'm sure it took about 2 to 3 days preparing those meals. He just flips the whole shit, kicking chairs and shit, all upset. Nigga. Yeah.
Mom.
Then he walks up the stairs. Man, I would have Scorpion get over here his ass, and nigga, I would have turned that thing into the Thanksgiving turkey.
You remember the one from Dr. Phil?
Oh,
Slapped his mother?
how did that feel, huh?
Man.
Yeah. That's Esau.
My mother saw it, was like, that boy would be dead.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Treat
it.
his mama like a street hoe, like a streetwalker.
Yeah.
Here, bitch. Ha.
Yep. And guess what? At the end of the day, that's the nature of Esau. You know? And if you don't see, if you go to the supermarket and you hear some loud ass obnoxious kid, more than likely it's gonna be an Edomite baby. Because them Jake babies, them Jake kids, they might try the shit, but they gonna learn. And if their parents are like ones that, you know, really don't have the patience, they might give them a little sign in the store. And then they would, man, you know what? Wait till I got something for you when we get home. You know, Jake, they do the eye shit. That's what they do. They talk with their eyes. They eye speakers. You know, they open that shit. Because here it is. You got to the register. Your mom is stressed. You wait in the line at BJ's for like 2 hours. You finally get to the register. She trying to find the membership card because she can't pay for this shit if it's not there. And, mommy, you just acting a damn fool all around and shit. And she's at the register. She gives you that look. You don't know, man. Look, man, the shit that's going on in her head at that point, only her and the Most High know, because she wants to do a whole lot of hurt to that kid. But she gonna give you that stare, like, nigga, if you don't stop. Matter of fact, We need when we get home.
And then next thing you know, the glasses go down and
Hmm.
they put it back in the punch. And you still doing it. What's up? And I said, you know what you did. And you got to ask
That's it. Then the next time they just get up and they come back with a belt, you know, and at that point they get angry. Yep.
just look at the Jake Mike said it's been out here. Just watch it. Just give me that look. Because when the time comes and puts the glasses back up, it's asking. Now it's like, now, see, now you gotta get your ass.
That's it. That's it. And they come back with mad energy because they sit there so calmly, right? They just watch them. And you know what's funny? The thing is, the kids be knowing exactly what they're doing because they turn around and then they see the parent. Why are you checking to see if the parent is looking at you? They're gonna do some stupid shit. They're gonna turn to see if somebody's watching them, you know, and then try to continue. So when the he may say stop the first time, or he may just look at you, and then when he looks at you again, the next time he comes back, he's damn near running into the room with the belt, finding you come there unexpected and shit. But the point is, them Edomite kids, they don't get disciplined. They got that bratty nature, and when they grow up, it manifests. Yo, number one, when you watch them documentaries about them little serial killers and shit, and they show you how they started off when they were younger. They were torturing like animals and shit. Nigga was breaking the limbs of rats, coiling their tail and lighting it on fire. You know what I'm saying? Skinning cats and shit. And then they went to bigger things, then bigger things. And then he just lost control one day. You know, that's the type of shit that Esau gets. That's his nature. So when he grows up, the scriptures tell you that blood is as nothing in his sight. Since thou has not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So as we're reading in Psalms 58 and 3, that's how they come out the womb. So no matter if you look like a cute Edomite baby, let him grow and get to that point, and that nigga can strangle your ass. Let's keep going on that.
Quick point, real quick. Yep. Just to add to the brother, that's what really is happening to Esau on a high level, because the fact that their children are like that is reflective of them as a nation. Right. The Lord doesn't correct them because he doesn't care about them. They're not his kids. They're not his children. You know, so the reason why Esau is like a spoiled brat right now, going on a tantrum. And when he punches a hole in the wall, Ohio, a train gets derailed. You know, he's destroying his own kingdom. Why would you do that? Because you're a maniac.
So like a quick point, since I'll be around kids a lot, since you mentioned that, because what happens when you train, like the scriptures say, train for child in the way they should go and they shall not depart. We're known to discipline because that's how we're raised up. Especially if you have like Caribbean parents, they don't play that shit. But they're not used to correction. So now when the Most High starts to get on them with the curses and starts disciplining them, they're not going to know how to act. Because, you know, if you've seen, because in daycare, I think I've seen maybe 2 Edomite kids come to daycare. And when you tell them what to do, they don't like it. It's almost like they do that. And all that. It's like they don't like it. If you do it with a Jake, the Jake will kind of act like, but they'll kind of calm down. Like, but if them, they just get that. So now when the Most High gets on, it's going to become like that. But it's like, you can't do nothing against that now. Now you're going to have to sit there and deal with it. And like, when you're not used to correction, it's like very shocking. It's like shock therapy. It's like, what the hell is going on? I'm not used to this. My parents don't do this to me. But us, we're used to that. So it's like, but we got to deal with it.
The prophets are out now telling them that your kingdom's going to go down. You know, you fucked up. Look what you did. You know, basically telling them off and rebuking them, like, you know, sunning them pretty much. And we know he's not going to get it. And then eventually he's going to be so frustrated, he's going to see the miracles the Lord's doing for us and just push the button. They can get it over with.
But he's going to see, because we're going to put the fear of God in him. So no matter what he was thinking at first, oh, well, we're going to get it. Remember, Revelation, I think it's 6, says that some of them didn't repent of their evil works. So niggas going to think, nah, we going to find a way. No, you ain't going to find a way anyway. You don't know who you're going up against, really. That's the thing. Esau don't know who he's going up against. That's why they still got that pride. Wait till Yahushua makes his return and they're going to find out, yo, nah, look, there you go. Just put the shackles on. I'd rather just go into the pit willingly. Because when they see, that's why it says to hide us from the wrath of the Lamb and him that sitteth upon the throne. Because when you see the anger and the rage of Yahushua and the damage that he's coming to do, Yahushua ain't gonna, this time when he comes, he's gonna get busy. And after that, that people gonna know. And guess what? There's gonna be an exciting time because we're gonna come down. Because remember, the first order is after the elect get delivered and get changed and come down, there's still a whole portion of the earth that we need to go and subject. And during that whole time, they're gathering and recouping, saying, oh shit, we got to defend the planet against aliens. Because there are people that got abducted, and all of a sudden, these big superhumans who can fly are coming out of these ships. And they're searching out, going to the whole planet. The planet is a big place. So we're going to literally need to go around the whole planet, and we're going to go to certain regions where they have military might. Russia, China, all these different areas that didn't get destroyed like America, but they still going to have militaries. You know, they still going to have people that are going to try to fight back. And that's when we're going to need to show them spiritual power versus technology. You shoot a rocket and we just catch that shit. You know, drop it somewhere, grab a tank and throw it somewhere. You know, just shoot key blasts out your hand. You know, so when you do these shits, man, as we're doing this, we're gonna be putting fear in the earth every single way, like Brightburn. When at the end of the movie, when he finally unlocked his full potential, and there were just reports. Oh, he did this over here. He did this over here. He did this over here. Next, so it's spiritual, right? Because that's what we're doing now. Where you got camp set over here. Oh, there's a camp over here. There's these men over here. But when the time comes, the Lord's gonna bless us to do that, not from a fisher's perspective, but from a hunter's perspective. To where they're gonna say, oh shoot, they're now in Tokyo City, or you know, they're now over here, they're now over here. It's gonna come down and it's gonna be the same order. Boom. All right, let's get into it. You know, and it's gonna be a beautiful time to go around the world and subject the people, the inhabitants of the earth, onto righteousness. We're gonna literally go everywhere and subjugate them onto righteousness. Let's go, load them up. However, the Lord is gonna have it up. Yahushua is gonna give us the commands and the orders, and we're gonna do what needs to be done. We're gonna execute it to perfection. We're gonna have the power, the right, the jurisdiction, the freedom, the immortality, and we're gonna have everything. And that is gonna be fun times from there. Where the fun begins.
That the scriptures tell you that we're going to inherit the kingdom,
Right.
we're going to inherit the earth.
Yep.
Meaning that we're going to have power and jurisdiction. That means that it's like you come into your house, you have the rules. You set the rules. You do how you please what you want your house to be like. So the house of David pretty much is going to be the whole entire earth. You know, the elect going to rule over the whole entire earth. That means that our presence will be felt on the whole entire earth, whether you want it or not. You see what I'm saying? So these other nations, they're going to be subject to our laws, which are the righteous laws.
Right.
That's why the scripture says that what? When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice because they'll see how righteous our laws are. They'll be like, damn, like we didn't have to be threatened because we didn't want to do any business with the Americans in it. Why? Because America doesn't exist. Right? Oh, what happened to America after the break? Well, she doesn't exist. Oh, well, this is how we used to do things with Biden and Trump. You don't exist. You don't want. All right? No more the American way. No more the American philosophies. No more American ways of shit. None of that shit exists. Once Yahushua gets back. You see? So everything from there is righteous, but it's going to be brutal because look at all the wickedness that's going on around the world right now. You think it's going to stand for this? The world now is pushing into a vibration of pushing for a new so-called radical change in so-called faith when it comes to Christianity and all these different things. The Pope is behind this.
Yep.
And they're pushing all this fear, madness, into birds, all this sickness, into so-called religion, man. All you hear these celebrities come out and say, oh, I'm a Christian, I'm a Catholic. They're the most, these are the most satanic people on the face of the earth. Talk about they worship God. What God are you talking about, man? Not the God of the Bible. Not the God that we worship. Not the God who sent his son back down to restore righteous order. Because why? If it was the case, these motherfuckers would be getting ready to fight against him when he comes back. And you won't feel miserable. And we will see to it that you feel miserable, right? So what's that in fight? What's that in fight, man? Every story, every theme, and every good guy versus bad guy or show or book that you read, there's always a bad guy who gets the best time, the longest time. In that very short time, the good guy comes in, that decimates their whole shit and sets up a righteous kingdom where everybody's happy again. That's the theme, that's the scriptures. of the Israelites, and when our Lord comes back to instill that order right here on this earth. Remember, there's a reason why when Pontius Pilate was asking all these questions, he didn't say anything, right? He was quiet. Listen, you, when I speak, things happen. He said it. So when he comes back, when he speaks, second Ezra saw that. He spoke when he gave that order, things happen. So those are the things that are about to happen. It's not going to end.
That's it. That's it. Going on that?
Psalms 58. I'll start from 3 again. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born.
As soon as they be born, go on.
Speaking lies.
And when you go astray, it tells you to basically go away from the laws of the Lord, to be sinful, to have iniquity. That's their mindset. That's why I said that the let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth his ear. By nature, they're not going to hear this. What? It says they go astray from the womb.
They go astray.
It's like what?
It's like the book of Daniel tells you that what? None of the wicked shall understand. Right? So no matter what you do, they're not going to get it. They're not meant to get it. That's why they're going to be destroyed. Period.
Yep. That's it. See that?
They go astray as soon as they be born. Speaking lies.
That's it. Speaking lies. As soon as they be born. So you want to find out some of the quickest liars? Edomites. The baby took it. You ask them, did you take it? No, I didn't take it. But I can see it in your pocket. No, I don't know. Then you pull it out their pocket and they start crying and shit. Now, there was a video that the brother Yashalam put up about Edomites getting caught shoplifting. And they try to play it off like, no, it's not this. And no, it's so hilarious. But it's still, they asses get caught. And then, 144, that's it. And when they get caught, they try to play the victim. Oh, you assaulted me and you scratched me and you ripped my jacket and bitch, drop the shit, man. Drop the act and drop the stuff. You're embarrassed. Let's get that in Habakkuk. Yeah, that's it on that.
Habakkuk 2:1. I will stand upon my watch and set me up, Salakia, and set me upon the tower.
Right, as a watchman. Go pursuant to Isaiah 62:6. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Isaiah 62:6. So set me upon the watchtower, because from there you get a vantage point and you can watch out for the city. Right? Go on.
And will watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I am reproved.
Right, who's the he? The he is Yahushua. Okay? So what I shall answer when I'm reproved. So what are going to be my actions? Once the Lord, speaks. What based on whatever he says. So we on high alert, watching for the signs to know, okay, what are we supposed to do in these times when the Lord does this, when the Lord has this? Because he speaks through his prophecies. Remember, he says that his words do not come back void. So the Lord's words, in most cases, are actions. Go on.
And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables.
Right. In the ancient world, tables were like a piece of clay, like a stone tablet or a clay tablet, and they would use a sharp object like a stylus to ingrain or to charagma really the clay, because they will cut beneath the surface and leave the characters in there. Right. So go on. Make it plain upon tables. Go on.
That he may run that readeth it.
So the modern day version of tables is books that we have today. We have paper. We have books that we write in to keep records of things. Now you have technology, you have computers, phones, notepads, right? But that he may run that readeth it, meaning that based on what's written in here, you're gonna have to move with a sense of urgency, with haste, and that's what we do. When we read these scriptures and we thought, oh shit, this is what's coming, just like that. You don't have time. Go on.
For the vision is yet for an appointed time,
meaning that whatever it is that the prophet saw, in this case what Habakkuk saw, the Lord has set to happen at some point in the future. Right? Go on.
But at the end it shall speak and not lie.
Meaning that at the end, when it's time, when the appointed time is here, the vision is going to come to pass and not lie. So it's not going to be a partial vision or a failed vision, but it's going to come to pass according as it was seen. What the prophets saw was what's going to happen is what they saw. They didn't. It's not that they saw something and no. They saw, if they saw a white car pull up and crash into a blue car, then guess what's gonna happen? A white car is gonna pull up and crash into a blue car. What they saw is the event. They just saw it before it's actually happened. Okay, it's like damn near going to getting exclusive access to a movie and you watch it 2 days before it actually gets released. When it gets released, it's gonna show the same thing that you saw 2 days ago. You know, it's not like you're making shit up. Or you were close, but you close with no cigar.
The prophets got access to the premiere every time.
That's it. But the thing is, they didn't understand it because it was so far ahead. They were just like, "Yo, what's up?" You know, like, "Whoa, what's this? What's this?" What?
Though it tarry, wait for it, because
so when something tarries, it means that it's taking long, right? And it's based on time, right? If you take, for example, certain accounts in the scriptures, an individual comes and he stays with another individual, and then he says, tarry with me another night, meaning stay here with me, but it's called tarrying because I'm delaying your return. Okay, so though it tarry, meaning though it's delayed, right? Go on.
wait for it.
So don't become impatient, because there's an appointed time, and sometimes it may feel like, damn, this thing is delayed, ain't nothing happening. But you still got to wait for these prophecies. Go on.
Because it will surely come. It will not tarry.
Right. So the time is going to come when these prophecies are going to be fulfilled, and it's not going to be delayed at that point. So that's why you got to wait for it with patience, because when it gets here, it's going to be here. It's not going to slow down. It's not going to wait. It's not going to pause. None of that. It's going to happen accordingly. So when the collapse happens, when the outages happens, or the electricity goes out, the food riots begin, those things are not going to pause. It's not going to be one day on, one day off, so you can catch your breath. It's not. This ain't a horror movie that you press pause on to go use the bathroom and come back real quick. In real life, it's not going to happen. It's going to be played all the way on.
That movie, I think what's it called?
Yep.
I was just situation after situation after situation.
Yep, that's right. From the beginning, everything was all calm till they got off the train. And then started from her boyfriend getting his face blown off, the shit was just action all the way on up. Non-stopping it. So much so that she forgot that she left to get help for her man. She totally forgot about that because she gunshots everywhere. She about to get raped. Now she rolling with a freaking janitor and shit. You know? Going now, I bet you if she met him under different circumstances, she wouldn't even who the fuck is this guy? You know, hey, do your job, clean it up. She wouldn't even give him a second look. But now, under the circumstances that she met him, he's the most valuable person ever. Yo, please, okay, I'll go with you. You don't even know me. You know, but I don't care. I'll go with you. And that's what's going Isaiah 4:1. That's why in that time, 7 women shall take hold of one man, because just like she took hold of him, why did she take hold of him? Because he protected her. She saw, okay, she was in mortal danger, in danger of being taken advantage of by 2 dudes. And then he came up in there, and with ease, he messed him up. So she's like, okay, I know where I'm going. I know who I'm going with, at least. Because clearly she couldn't fight the dudes off herself. And in that time, people are going to see that. But we're not going to do it off of mortal strength. We're going to do it off of divine spirit, where the Lord is going to bless you. Look, man, it's an easy thing. Just like the Lord was with Moses to perform those feats, to take care of a whole nation in the wilderness. He fed them, you know, and all of these different things. The Lord could give you the ability to where you so calm. If the Lord gave you the ability to manipulate the elements, what would you have to worry about? You know, you could harden the air around you, and nothing could pierce it and get to you. You get somewhere you guys are hungry, you could just take a damn rock or a boulder and turn it into bread or something. You know, you can get a pot, close it, pray over it, and open it. And there's food in there. Whatever food it is, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. At that point, you're not going to be stressed. You're going to be carefree. Because when you're hungry, you can eat. When you're tired, you can rest. When there's danger, you're protected. And at that point, you're going to be more than valuable, not just to those that are like to yourself, but to those that are around you. And sometimes you may come across somebody that's in need of help. And you know, I mean, if the spirit is on you, then you help them. But at that point, we're going to be going off of the spirit. So there's going to be people that you just literally going to be standing there looking at them, and they asking for help, and you just going to walk away. And then there's gonna be some that you see them in need, and the Spirit is gonna prompt you to just come out.
Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him.
Right. So his soul, that's like we read in Psalm 58:3, the spirit that's within them is not upright. Right? Meaning that it's not righteous. It's crooked. Go on. It ain't straight.
But the just shall live by his faith.
Right. That's how we move. So here it is, there's moonlights, fires, chaos. 2 Corinthians 15 is taking place. How do we know we're going to be okay? Because we're going on faith. We believe through faith. The Lord said, Isaiah 65:13, we believe that through faith. So we ain't going to be stressed.
Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine.
We're going to finish off in here. He transgresseth by wine. And wine, in this sense, meaning his doctrine, his philosophies, his speech, his deception. He goes off and causes people to go off. And that's how he's able to push these wicked agendas. Go on.
He is a proud man,
Uh-huh.
neither keepeth at home.
That's why you see these devils everywhere. Yeah, oil? Okay, all right. I'll see you there in 24 hours. You need some help. That's all that. Oh, you found some. You need some help. And you need some too. And then next thing you know, they're over there. Oh, they needed doctors, but you got a plane full of military troops with guns. But the dude said that they needed doctors. Yeah, we got this. You know what I'm saying? Let the experts handle it. And then next thing you know, there's civil wars breaking out. There's famines going. What? This country was fine. It's super mega inflation. You know, all of a sudden there was a coup and they took over they took the leader out, or there's now this new guy who's just on the scene trying to go back and forth. What? Hold on. They just find out a week ago that they had struck a new gold mine or oil mine, and all of a sudden all this is going on. And then you find out, what? If there's chaos, we got to be there. We're the international police. Who the hell made you that? Even if we're a sovereign country, we still got to be there. They don't keep at home. Go on.
Who enlargeth his desire as hell,
Uh-huh.
and is as death.
Yeah, hell, meaning, for example, the grave. The grave can never be filled. Because you put people in there, their body breaks down, put more people in there, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, I'm not saying you're digging the same site, but people die every day. People been dying since the earth was created. And yet the graves are never filled up. And that's Esau. His desire is like that. He can never be satisfied. Go on.
Right. Also 52. What is the number one goal for this to come to fruition? Depopulation. Put people literally in the grave. So their desire is as hell, meaning they have the desire to put people to like the more people that are dead, the better it is for us. You know, that's ultimately the number one goal: destruction, the son of perdition.
Yep.
All right.
That's it. That's it. Go on.
It cannot be satisfied.
See? Satisfied. So they keep going and they just never have enough. That's why the Lord has to take them out of power. They will never stop and say, all right, we're good now. That's enough. No. When they get to first off, if the Lord left things as they were, these devils would bring out the MOTB, they would micro-see here people, but they wouldn't stop there. Eventually they'll get to the point where they're gonna start capturing people's spirits and trapping it. And then they're gonna get to the point where they're just gonna keep going and going and going and going and going. So the Lord needs, they says what? What's that? Oh, your battery low? All right, well, we about to wrap it up anyway. So just read up maybe like one more verse.
But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
That's it. Go on.
Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his.
Yep. Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. Right, bring your wire. Same one? Okay. Right. Increaseth that which is not his, other side. And that's why this devil is everywhere, taking other people's stuff in their territories. Water, perfect. I'm about to wrap it up anyway. Go on.
How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay.
Which the word there is ibatya, which is debt. Thick debt. And now it's coming back down on him. That's why you see what's going on with SDP and all these other places. It's all a result of the actions of these devils. Go on.
Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee?
Yep, and that's ultimately what's gonna happen. Eventually, these nations they're gonna get up and they're gonna turn on this place, and they're gonna shoot missiles upon this place. That's why you got the whole Ukraine situation going on. Now, whatever comes from that, we still know that World War III is still gonna come to pass according to biblical prophecy. Okay, I was on that.
And thou shalt be for booties unto them.
Meaning you're gonna be made a spoil unto them. So they're gonna take this place, and then they're gonna take you. Go on.
Because thou hast spoiled many nations. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee.
Yep. Payback's a bitch. So you hurt, you're gonna be hurt.
Because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein.
Yep. Because that's the spirit of the Lord said, an eye for an eye, blood for blood. So you shed blood, your blood is gonna be shed. We can pretty much end it on there. You know, but ultimately, you know, that's the spirit, that's the nature of Esau, and that's gonna be the consequence of it. So this coming collapse, it is gonna be orchestrated by Esau, set up by the Most High, but it's not gonna be to his benefit. It's gonna fall and fall and fall, and when he tries to step in to stop it, it's gonna fall some more. The scriptures say evil is gonna rise, and thou shalt not know from whence it rises. But we prepared, you know. So Lord willing, when that time comes, the Lord remembers mercy in the time of wrath, and He has mercy upon us. Okay, brothers, got anything else?
Can I just get the 9th verse real
Yeah,
quick?
go ahead.
It says, woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high. Now, this kind of just hit me. That's a key. Who this is talking? That's a key clue in closing. This is a key clue to show you who it's talking about. That he may set his nest on high, as pursuant to the book of Obadiah. You know, so he wants to, because it says that he may be delivered from the power of evil. In other words, from the day of adversity that's coming to him. So he's trying to set his nest up, set his situation up like the eagle, that predatory bird, so that he will be delivered from the day of adversity. But he's not going to be. Because there's nothing you could do, because the ultimate top predator, which is our Lord Yahweh Shai, is going to come for your ass. That's it.
So anyway, with that, we're gonna wrap it up. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, we want to give all praise to the Lord. Next time, shalom.
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 Shalom, brother.